first surprise I got when I got into CARTA was the approach to teaching, which was more involving, like allowing you to drive yourself, bring out your thoughts, and then critiquing those thoughts and making you think, rather than the top-down approach, which I was used to, the traditional method of teaching, where somebody just comes into the class and tells you what you're supposed to do, and, you're just supposed to put it in your head and produce it.
To teach and support PhD fellows, CARTA uses a range of tools and methods. Across the many sessions and stages of the program, 4 characteristics stand out as crucial. CARTA's approach is non-hierarchical, multidisciplinary, based on peer learning, and experiential.
We're asking in relation to the side effects of personal research.
Yes. We think the elder is the person who can teach us only. And that's not true. 1, you bring your own knowledge and experience. 2, you have peers around you who have their knowledge and experience. And it's part of the anti-hierarchical approach. You can learn from many sources. You often learn from your research subjects. And we sometimes forget that it's not the professor who is the only person from whom we learn. And that's an important thing that CARTA tries to underline.
One of the ways that CARTA breaks down hierarchies is informality. Everyone uses each other's first names, whether you're older or younger, a learner or a teacher. This encourages free discussion and exchange.
So facilitators comments, and the way in which it's different from the traditional way is the fact that it helps to break down the hierarchy between the professors and the students. In that sense, you co-construct meanings because it's your work. So you should be able to speak to the facilitator freely and what you want to do. And so the two of you interact and talk as colleagues rather than in hierarchy.
Even the recommended layout of the room puts the PhD fellows at the centre, while the facilitators are seated to the side on call to provide support. CARTA challenges another hierarchy, that between researcher and subject.
And I know how important their role is in the community.
We felt that we were encouraged to really go and engage with the community in which we are working and engage stakeholders in asking, are we asking the right research question? Have we perceived the problem appropriately?
There is no hierarchy between disciplines either. Different disciplines use different methods to generate different kinds of evidence, and all disciplines can bring important knowledge.
Find a table where you're going to sit as a group.
Throughout the program, CARTA's approach is multidisciplinary.
I'd like to start off just by asking you the question, what did you learn, or is there anything that you realized through this process or from the other groups? Let's start with you, Maureen.
To say it was really enlightening to see how the biostatistician coming in, how the social scientists, the demographers are coming in, which means that we all meet at one point together and we all contribute to the development of this continent.
That's such a great summary of the session. I almost want to stop there.
I've learned about the traditions of qualitative research, which is something I did not know. I've learned to relate quantitative and qualitative research and relate both. I've learned to analyze, to manage data. So I think I'll go back home a better thinker, a better critique of research, which is good for me and my peers as well.
Which one are you quick questioner?
CARTA emphasises peer learning, with PhD fellows working together in groups. To enable this to happen, those who teach in the CARTA way do so by facilitating rather than lecturing. CARTA facilitators, all experts in their fields, guide and support the PhD fellows through carefully structured sessions.
So it's not random. It is very well quality controlled. That set problems are defined and given to them to solve. And we go back to check what they're doing, how well they're doing them, and provide guidance in case they stray.
Yeah.
Scarcity research.
They've graduated with their full degrees. Definitely they're able to come back in the system.
So the difference is that we're actually doing it. So if you're given something to, it's more or less like an adventure, you're now discovering some things yourself. Now you encounter some challenges and then you're trying to work out like how exactly do I do this. That real life experience, it sticks much longer than sitting in a class and listening to a lecturer teaching you stuff.
Okay, let's finish up.
Okay, so it's gender. People agree. Where are we now? Yes?
Most facilities closer to the capital of the city.
The CARTA pedagogy, it's very creative, it's nuanced, it is the best we have from the various partners, and the idea really is not to spoon feed the fellows that we have, but to empower them to drive their own learning.
Fellows experience the CARTA approach on the path to their PhDs, and then they go on to use the methods and tools with their own students.
CARTA's approach to having a multidisciplinary group and encouraging multiple approaches has been very valuable, and to be able to take that back to my department, to fellow postgraduate students in my department, but also influencing how we approach undergraduate teaching.
So more recently, when I go to classes now for medical students, residents, and all of that, I try my best to use the approach of CARTA. So they do the work, and then we discuss the work. And we're able to, critique each other, bring out reasons. That is a fantastic way to learn.
CARTA shares its approach and curriculum in the public domain because these methods have proven to promote critical thinking and self-directed learning and have stimulated change in its graduates. It is an approach that can be used beyond CARTA and a curriculum that provides transferable skills that are relevant to most PhD students.
I think that this is really in the forefront of research training. And it's very much related to the type of changes that are planned right now, both in Europe, in Australia, in New Zealand, and so forth. So I mean, it is a model that I think that people could learn a lot from, and not only in Africa, but also in what is called the developed world.
But more than that, it's also about research. It's about training the type of researchers that we need on the continent. It's about training the type of research fellows and lecturers that will meet the demands of individual countries, but also as the region as a whole. So the greater focus, I would say, or the greater strategy would be to redefine research in sub-Saharan Africa, how it's done and who is doing it.